The NBA has a ratings problem, plain and simple. Whether it's the predictable style of play, the soft officiating, or the awkward transition between superstar eras, fans just aren't hooked anymore. At least not during the regular season. Sure, plenty of people stream game off the books, but let's not kid ourselves. There's a deeper issue here. And honestly, it feels like Adam Silver doesn't have the answers to fix it. Yuki Kawamura might not be logging heavy minutes in the NBA. He's barely cracked an hour of playtime, but his impact goes way beyond the box score. For the Memphis Grizzlies, he's become a crucial piece of their rotation, and his influence on the NBA's global appeal is undeniable. As a Japanese-born player, Kawamura has catapulted the Grizzlies to the top of the NBA's popularity rankings in Japan, surpassing teams like the Warriors and Lakers. Thanks to his electrifying highlights and viral social media presence, he's pulling in a whole new generation of fans. Simply put, the Grizzlies have become a must-watch TV in Japan. And NBA Japan's engagement is through the roof. His presence isn't just about stats, it's about igniting a basketball movement in Japan with Grizzlies leading the charge. But his real significance? It's about the future of basketball itself. To see why, we need to go back to where it all started. There are a lot of people who wonder, where did this kid come from? I mean, Japan has never been a country known for exporting basketball talent, has it? What's happening with the current generation is an exception. In the last Olympics, not only did Japan qualify for the second time in the last half-century, but they also came close to pulling off the upset. And precisely there is why many people got to know Yuki. In Paris, Kawamura didn't just show up, he dominated, averaging 20.3 points, 3.3 rebounds, and 7.7 assists over 3 games. And against the host France, despite some blatant hometown officiating, he dropped a clutch 29 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists in a nail-biter. So what's so special about this? There are always going to be players who carry their national team, right? Rondé Hollis Jefferson of Jordan looked like the new coming of Kobe Bryant. Yuki is 5'8". Yeah, you heard that right. 5'8". In today's game, where size is king, a 5'8" Japanese guard has somehow managed to steal the spotlight on the world stage. Now, his career didn't start in Paris in 2024. His road to the NBA has been as complicated as you'd expect it to be for someone his size. And if one thing is clear, it's that there would never have been a Yuki Kawamura without a Yuki Togashi. For those not familiar with this name, Togashi is a B-League legend. Name given to the first tier of the most important domestic league in Japan. One-time MVP, 7-time B-League first team, 2-time assist leader, and 1-time All-Star Game MVP. His milestones are incredible in his hometown, but the most incredible thing is that Togashi is just 5'6", a perfect influence for Kawamura. Kawamura and Togashi shared a roster during the Olympics, but Kawamura's track record in the Japanese league was already well established. In 2020, Yuki became the youngest player in history to debut in the B-League at just 18 years old. And after signing with the Yokohama B Corsairs that same year, Kawamura found a niche where he could show his potential. Yuki didn't start his first year, but in the last 2 seasons, he averaged 20 points and 8 assists per game, earning the B-League MVP in 2023 and matching his idol Togashi. This was the perfect introduction letter for the NBA franchises. Even if NBA GMs don't scout Japan heavily, they know about Yuki. Undrafted in 2023, he forced his way onto a roster after a stellar Olympic run. The Memphis Grizzlies took a chance, and man, his preseason highlights, they went viral worldwide. The NBA isn't what it used to be. Muggsy Bogues, Spud Webb, and Earl Boykins, those days are gone. Just look at Isaiah Thomas. Despite his talent, he barely stuck around. In today's game, undersized guards are defensive targets, and every coach knows how to exploit them. With the league trending toward tall guards, the window for undersized players is shrinking fast. No pun intended. That's what makes Yuki's rise even more remarkable. People love throwing around the term unicorn, right? It's for those once-in-a-lifetime players who break the mold, like Wemby, Giannis, or KD. Guys who seem to be born to play basketball, defying logic and human evolution. But Yuki Kawamura? He's a unicorn in his own way. At 5'8", just making one of the 30 best rosters in the world is nothing short of incredible. In just 54 minutes of NBA action, Yuki's per 36 numbers suggest his B-League production might translate 16 points and 8 assists per 36 minutes. Yeah, the sample size is tiny, but still, that's something worth watching. His vision of the game still looks sublime. He sees things that the rest of the players can't see. And from such a low gravity point, he's able to pull the ball where no one else can. Plus, he's a real showman. He always seems to be playing for the fans, something that's made him even more noticeable by the fact that when he plays, the game is usually decided. His friendship with Ja Morant has become as viral as his highlights. The result? An explosive cocktail that has triggered a tremendously important effect in Japan. NBA ratings in the US are tanking. Let's get specific. Since the 2011 through 12 season, national broadcast viewership has plummeted nearly 50%, dropping from 2.5 million to just over 1.4 million. And it's only getting worse, down another 18% in the last year alone. While NBA rankings are slipping in the US, they're soaring in Asia, especially in Japan. In China, 90% of adults with internet access regularly watch basketball. We've seen this before with Linsanity, where a Taiwanese-American player sparked a basketball craze across Asia. Now the Kawamura effect is taking Japan by storm, with fans tuning into Memphis games just to see their guy shine. And it's not just him. Players like Rui Hachimura and Yuta Watanabe have also carved out roles with the top NBA teams. The numbers don't lie. International viewership is growing by 11% annually outside the US. Here's the thing. This is all happening alongside a massive boom in Asian basketball. The globalization of the game is undeniable, and the gap between the US and the rest of the world, it's closing fast. This shift isn't just about sending players to the NBA. It's about elevating national leagues, making them more competitive, and giving teams a real shot at dominating in top-tier FIBA tournaments. The world stage is getting a lot more crowded. The Asian market isn't just a game changer for basketball, it's a goldmine for athletes. Thanks to players like Yuki, this globalization wave is only picking up steam. We've seen NBA stars like Dwayne Wade, Jimmy Butler, and Fred VanVleet ink deals with Li Ning, and today players like Kyrie, Klay Thompson, and Dante DiVincenzo are partnering up with Anta. This isn't about second-tier NBA players looking for a payday. These are major names signing with global brands, and it's clear, this isn't just a trend, it's a shift in the market. Here's the reality check. The Asian market isn't just some niche, it's a massive chunk of the global market. China, Japan, Hong Kong, and India are economic powerhouses, and the spending power of their populations makes them crucial for any brand looking to go global. The NBA has slowly but surely tapped into that interest. It's no longer just America's league. Adam Silver's NBA is a worldwide product, drawing in fans and attention from all corners of the globe. And with the rising importance of these markets, this isn't just a win for the NBA, it's a whole new era of global basketball. Look, let's get one thing straight. The NFL dominates in the US, no question about it. But that's where the comparison ends. When you look globally, Europe, South America, Africa, and Asia, the NBA blows football out of the water. The game is massive overseas, and these markets are way bigger than the US right now, especially with the decline in domestic ratings. So, while the NFL may reign at home, the NBA is the global king. And that's something Adam Silver knows he can capitalize on. In countries like Japan, all it took was a spark, a movement, a phenomenon like Yuki Kawamura to reignite the country's passion for basketball. Sure, his time in the NBA has been brief, but he's already proven that the B-League is a legit pipeline for NBA talent. He's shown that Japan's league is competitive enough to be a viable destination for players who couldn't stick in the NBA. And with his growing influence, Kawamura might just be saving the league, generating a level of interest that goes way beyond his stats or highlights. What's happening in Japan is unprecedented. And if this continues, he's got a real shot at being remembered forever.